welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel if you're new here. As you know, our channel is lifestyle, like our adventures. However, recently in most of my videos, well, our videos are of me, and specifically like my skincare, my makeup, and like that type of stuff. We haven't really got into like traveling, because sometimes when we travel I completely forget to vlog or even video it, so I need to get better at that one. But today's video is going to be the books that I've read for the first, hold on, I gotta do the math, 5 months. I know it should be 6, but my best friend and I saw this trend at the very beginning of January, and when we saw the TikTok about what we wanted to do, it was kind of too late in January for us to find a book, send each other the books that we wanted to get each other, and then start reading them in order to start the next book in February. So basically we saw this TikTok in January where this girl was like showing like the books that her best friend sent her all of last year in 2023, and we were like, should we do this? And we both agreed to do it. However, we started in February, so like our full year will end in January of 2025. But we're gonna just keep continuing it because we both really like this, and these are some of the books we've read. There's a couple that aren't okay, so like we have our monthly books that we send each other and pick out for each other and read, but then we started a series together, and then we've also been reading, like if we finish our book that we've the other one got the other we start a new book. So I have more than 5 books here, because like I feel like once you get into reading, you keep up with like that pace. May I read 3 books, I believe. I'm pretty sure I read 3. We'll get to that. So let's start with my book for February of 2024. It was The 7-Year Slip. It was supposed to be a romance book. This one I give 5 out of 5. It had me hooked from the beginning. This is by Ashley Poston. I believe that's how you say her last name. I'm terrible at pronouncing last names, so please don't like come at me in the comments. I really wouldn't call this a rom-com, but it's really good. It takes place in New York City. I love New York City. I don't get to go there as much because I'm definitely a beach girly compared to a city girl, but I do really like, this was a good book. It was a good read. It was definitely a romance book, so I highly recommend this one. And then my second book for the year, which was in March of 2024, my friend got me Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which is book 1 of the Celestial Kingdom duology. This one, I will be honest, and I know my best friend's watching this video, this was very hard for me to get into. It took me forever to read. I give it 4 out of a 5-star rating, just because like I couldn't really pronounce some of the words. They were in, not words, but like the names were in oh my gosh, there's a specific name for this language, and I'm completely blanking. But yeah, it was just kind of hard for me to get into. Once I got into it, I finished it like the very last week of March that went into like Easter. I finished it like the Sunday before then. But yeah, like I personally don't know if I'm gonna read the second book to it. It's different. I love the stars and the moon and like that stuff too. But it was different. It was good but different, like different storyline than what I usually go for. Mandarin. I'm pretty sure the words well, the names were in Mandarin, and that's why I was having a terrible time pronouncing them. And I did Google Translate them and like have Google like pronounce them for me. But anyway, 4 out of 5 on that one. So that brings us to February, March, April. Where is April? April was The Lost Bookshop. I love it. 5 out of 5. I am part Irish, so this takes place in Ireland. It has 3 main characters, and it does go, like, it starts with one and then goes to the next and then goes to the next. 2 of the main characters are in present day, and the one main character is in the past, like World War II, like that past. Very good. It had a lot of twists and turns in it that it just had you hooked. I finished this, man, when did I finish this? I want to say like the first 2 weeks of April, because I read another book in April, so I know this was like the first 2 weeks of April that I finished it, and it was so good. Highly recommend it. Then that brings us to May, which I finished this one in a week, mind you. Now, we did our own, oh, I forgot to, okay, so I forget what all our categories are. I have them written down and I look at them like when I'm prepping to order the next books. So I don't remember. February was romance, March was flowers on the cover, April was either a bookshop, no, what was April? Was it a book that you wouldn't buy for yourself? I can't remember what April was, but like I said, each month has like a theme or genre that we're supposed to go with. So we didn't like May's theme or genre we were supposed to go with, so we chose to do a TikTok shop order for a blind date with a book. Now obviously what we're doing is kind of a blind date with a book that the other person only knows what the other one's getting, but we don't throw in any of the fancy wrappings or like anything like that. So when we ordered these books, we only knew the genre we were ordering for each other. We didn't know what was coming with it. We didn't know what book we were getting. We both ordered from the same TikTok shop person, so like we knew it was coming from the same person in the same place. We just didn't know what genre we chose for each other, what the book was going to be, and like any of the extras we were getting. So I chose for her spicy romance, I believe, pretty sure, and she chose for me horror, which I was excited about. So it's called My Soul to Take. This had me hooked from the very beginning. Like I said, it took me a week to read. It takes place in Iceland. The words and the names weren't as hard to pronounce as in Daughter of the Moon Goddess. This takes place kind of in present day, not like present day 2024, but like the 2000s era. Not as scary as I thought it was gonna be. It did give me chills, and it had me hooked, and like I was on my toes, suspense, like waiting for the next thing to happen. 5 out of 5 for this one. Definitely recommend it. And this author does have another book. It's called The Last Rituals, which I think I want to read that one. It's gonna be on my reading list, but I don't know if that one's horror or thriller or what that one is. So that brings us to June. So for June, July, and August, we decided we both love the beach, we both love summertime, so we decided to keep our books for June, July, and August, all of them the same, so they were all summer books. So my book that she got me for June is Just for the Summer. slow start for the first like 2 chapters, and then I was hooked. It's very good. 5 out of 5. I really like how she writes. This one, however, and she even has like a little preface in the beginning of like, hey, like if you are triggered by any of these things, like maybe this isn't the right book for you. Abby Jimenez, I believe that's like, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but I know her first name is Abby. She usually does rom-coms, she says, but this one hits on abandonment, PTSD, trauma, anxiety, like mental health disorders and like that type of thing. And it still has like a little bit of rom-com, you know, relationships, summertime. So it is a really good book. But if you're really triggered by any of those things, maybe you shouldn't read it, but it's very good. I highly recommend it. My July book is by her, but I don't want to give my July book away because like in January I want to do like the last couple books that I read for the last parts of this year. So my second book for July, which is the summer books that we're doing, is by her. It's not really a summer book, but it's by her, and so far it's really good. But like, it's okay if it's not summery. Like, it's fine. I know my August book is more than likely gonna be summery, so I can't complain. So yeah, this one is 5 out of 5. Now, those are the books that my best friend sent me from when we started in February to currently. Obviously I can't show you my current one for July, but yeah, this is what we got going on. Now, I have some books here that I read that we're going to go over that were my second books of 2024. So I need to get a drink. Also, there's a possibility Dawson could be calling me, Elizabeth could wake up, or the dogs are going to need in, so I might have to take a quick second from this video. Okay, let's get started. Too Late by Colleen Hoover. Finished within 4 days. So good. 5 out of 5. Highly recommend. Had me hooked from like the very beginning. I could not put this book down. I was reading it constantly when I had the time. So I finished Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and then I started this one. Finished this one. So I think I finished it Saturday night. So like the next day was Easter, so I finished it Saturday night. So I think I started it like Tuesday or Wednesday, and I could not put it down. I probably would have finished it before Saturday if I would have took it into my hair appointment, but it's cool. We're good. Highly recommend. 5 out of 5. I think it takes place in California. It's got a lot of suspense, undercover, cops, FBI, the whole 9 yards. However, it's a psychological suspense, and it also has to do with sexual abuse, trauma, and all that stuff. So if you're triggered by that, just be careful. Then we're going to start with April's second book. My husband, which is Dawson, he plays video games. So in his Discord, some of the people's girlfriends and wives were recommending the Four Horsemen series. Now there are 2 different series. There's this one by Laura Galassa, and then there's a different one by a different author that don't have these covers. Kira and I, which is my best friend that's doing the like reading with me, we could not put this down. We both had it finished like so quickly at the end of April. We were trying to read it together, but like we both wanted just to keep going and reading, and it's so good. Personally, I don't like thinking about the apocalypse, the end of the world, that type of stuff. So reading this series is very different for me. But reading this series, I'm not as afraid. Like this is fiction. Obviously, there's still the four horsemen. So like the first one is pestilence, and he spreads the plague. So I can't remember what the plague he's spreading is, but like everybody's sick. Not a lot of people are surviving. But I don't want to give too much away. But 5 out of 5, we read this so quickly. It was so good. So then I was waiting for her to finish her May book before we could start the second book to that series. So I started one that I picked up with the Target Red Week sale. No, sorry, the Target Circle sale that took place in like April, I think. It was called Beautiful Vengeance by Katie Roberts. I had such high hopes for this book. I don't know if it was because I wasn't I don't know if I wasn't in the mindset to read it, but I didn't enjoy it. Like, I had such high hopes. I literally give it a 2 out of 5. It has it's like talks about the mob. It's got the Irish mafia. Like it has a good storyline, but I just didn't like it. I don't know why I didn't like it, but it was so hard for me to finish. And I finished this within 3 days just because I wanted to start a different book. So this one was okay. Could have definitely been better. So then that brings me, wait, I read 4 books in May. Wow. Okay. So I read 4 books. So next I tried Crush, which, if you can see, this is a very thick book. It's got like almost 700 pages in it. It's like almost the size of one of the Harry Potter books. It's by Tracy Wolff. 3 out of 5. I don't know why I didn't like this one. I mean, the vampires and witches and like, you know, that Halloween vibey stuff. But I couldn't get into it, and I don't know why. I honestly can't tell you much about this one or Beautiful Vengeance because like I just wasn't into them. So I just felt like I was just reading to get them over with and out of the way so that I can move on to books that I actually want to read. So if you've read these books, like the last 2 that I've talked about, Beautiful Vengeance and Crush, I just personally, they weren't for me. That's just how it is. So also I just realized that my arms are a lot darker than my face, so my sunscreen is working. So this was my 4th book that I read in May. It's been through the ringer. Like, I've had to tape it, and there's chunks missing out of it because our puppy ate it, and I was very sad. So June I only was able to read 1 book, which was my June book. I was kind of upset about it, but it's okay. We're cool, we're moving forward, we're working hard on continuing reading. July, I want to read 2 books, but we're not even like part of the way through my first book. So, but anyway, this was my 4th book of May. This is War. This is the 2nd book to the Four Horsemen series. Now, Kira and I have 2 more of this series to read. We have Famine and we have Death yet. We both have already bought Famine, and I'm going to try to convince her to buy Death here so that we just have it so that we can go right into it and are ready to read it. So we both really like War so far out of the 2 we've read. Obviously we still have 2 more to read. We still have Famine and we still have Death. War was it was so good. It's 5 out of 5. Okay, so Pestilence, his part of the plague takes part in the United States and like Canada, I don't think he made it to Mexico with his plague. And then war, because I don't know if you're religious or know anything about like the wars and stuff, but takes place in Jerusalem, right? Yes, Jerusalem. Which, if you know about it, like a lot of wars take place in Middle Eastern countries. Yeah, and they have it to the east. So yeah, like it's really good. It's just not like how you expect it. Now they are medium spicy. I'm not really into like the 50 Shades of Grey or anything like that, but like these are good. Definitely wouldn't let your kids read them. If you're a parent of a teenager, it's your discretion on what you want to do. I personally probably wouldn't let my daughter read these until she was at least 18. It depends on the maturity level of the child. But War was so good. Like I said, it takes place in the Middle East, Jerusalem, where all the wars are. It's not what you would have expected from War, the way he's described. So, yeah, this was the last of the books that I read recently, like the second. Like I said, I'm still reading my July book, hoping to read Famine here in July as well. I don't know what my book for August is going to be, but I'm hoping to read Death, which would finish the Four Horsemen series in August. I feel like with summer, Kira and I just haven't been able to like we fit time in to read. We just haven't been able to read as much because like we want to be outside, we're doing things with our families. Elizabeth and I like to spend a lot of time outside, so personally we're just busy. But yeah, so these are, I'll try to put them in the order that I read them. So I did Too Late, Pestilence, Beautiful Vengeance, Crush, and then War. So these were my second ones. These were my main books. So yeah, it was just it's a good time. I really like reading, and I really like that her and I did this challenge together. So that's the end of this video. I'm so sorry I talk a lot with my hands. I hope everything made sense and that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you want to follow along for more lifestyle content, you know, between cooking, vlogging, makeup, skincare, whatever, and books, because obviously we got books. Make sure to hit the follow button and turn on notifications if you want to get notified whenever we upload. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your week and enjoy your Wednesday.